Well, the difficulty we know with recording and then curbing the spread of COVID-19 is that many people don't even know they have it. Many of those who are infected are, as you know, called asymptomatic, which means there are no red flags such as fever or a persistent cough that will indicate they need to get a test or self-isolate. While we've been aware of some of the usual symptoms for some time, others have emerged during the pandemic, such as loss of taste and smell. So how do we fight a virus when the symptoms are evolving? I'm joined now from Brussels by Dr. Michelle Plechette, microbiologist and epidemiologist with the Division of Infectious Diseases and Tropical Medicine at the Medical Centre of the University of Munich. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So I think we know the basics, but can you just remind us, what do we know now are the key red flags, indicators of someone being infected with COVID-19?
Well, I think the classical symptoms that we could measure first in China and then in the rest of the world during spring are still valid. It's mostly fever, very strong fever, cough, persistent cough, eventually headaches. Sometimes there are other symptoms like a gastrointestinal symptom. These are more frequent in children. And what is very particular, actually, you mentioned it, is this loss of smell and taste, which exists also in other infections, maybe of the nose, etc., by congestion. But here it's very different. It's very strong and sudden loss of smell and taste, which of course everybody will notice in his daily life. And then it persists for a very long time.
And the real challenge is that lots of us who get the infection won't have any of those symptoms. How much of the spread of coronavirus is down to those asymptomatic carriers?
Well, I mean, the estimation has been during the spring when people realized about the importance of this mode of transmission, that about 50 to 60% of all the transmission originate in asymptomatic carriers. Presently, we measure more, we do more tests in a way, and possibly this mode of transmission is even higher, so that it would reach 70%. So basically, the principal mode of transmission of COVID-19 is asymptomatic.
Do you think the public are aware of that? Do you think if they had greater knowledge of it, there might be more compliance with things like mask wearing and social distancing?
That's hard to say because this level of awareness is not precisely measured. I personally think that the general awareness the point is that the general awareness that COVID is a transmissible disease and that there is a specific notion to transmission of respiratory virus, this notion has not been acquired, even by a certain number of professionals. If you listen to what they are saying about the role of the virus and whatever you can do to fight it. Clearly, if people have a deeper experience of transmissible virus like they have in Asia, then compliance would be higher.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Dr. Michelle Plechette, microbiologist and epidemiologist at the University of Munich.